In the next 24 hours, the crypto markets might experience a significant $5 billion liquidity injection. Could this spark the alt season we've all been eagerly anticipating? Additionally, there's important news from the Bitcoin conference where Eric Trump spoke yesterday. This is your crypto news update. Hey everyone, I'm Kalen. If you're new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you stay updated with our latest content. Alright, good morning, guys. We're pretty much in the same spot today as we were yesterday, which comes after a pullback and a quick recovery that got us back to just under $109,000. As you can see, there was a slight dip yesterday, though it wasn't as severe as I expected. Now we're seeing a bit of a rebound, and there are a couple of reasons behind this. Firstly, my initial concerns about a potential drop stemmed from the Bitcoin conference that's been taking place. These events typically lead to sell the news situations, and as history shows, the market tends to dip during such conferences. Plus, we're noticing lower highs forming on Bitcoin, which doesn't look promising from a technical analysis standpoint. Over the last 7 weeks, we've had nothing but upward candles, so some pullback seemed inevitable. However, the reason for yesterday's rise was partly due to news that the US federal court blocked President Trump's tariffs from going into effect. This was quite unexpected. Who knew a court could potentially prevent these tariffs from happening? The initial sell-off from around $100,000 was triggered by the proposed tariffs, and now we're experiencing a bounce back because they may be blocked. Still, I think this isn't over yet. Trump will likely seek to challenge this. Overall, it's a confusing time filled with erratic price movements. At the conference, Eric Trump made some compelling statements.
All of us travel all over the world. Don and I travel hundreds of thousands of miles a year. I'm telling you right now, everybody in the world wants Bitcoin. I don't care where you are. I don't care if you're, royal families. I don't care if you're the biggest, financial institutions. Everybody wants Bitcoin. Everybody is buying Bitcoin. If you go back 12 months, there were probably less than 100 companies that were treasuring Bitcoin that really had any. And now every single day, it's another sovereign wealth fund. Look what GameStop just did. Look what Truth Social did. Every single day, people are allocating billions and billions of dollars to it. 0.1 Bitcoin is going to be worth an absolute fortune. And, look at the OTCs. The OTCs have the least amount of Bitcoin ever on their books, right? I mean, the arrow's going straight down as the price of Bitcoin is going straight up. I've got a dear friend. He spoke on the stage before, Simon from Metaplan, and I asked him, what's the hardest problem? And he goes, honestly, we're running out of Bitcoin. It's hard to find on the exchanges. I mean, guys, everybody wants it. No one wants to get rid of it. Everybody wants it as a balance sheet item. Every family, and this isn't America. This is the entire Middle East. This is Africa. This is all of Asia. This is Fortune 500. I mean, this is the biggest private offices. Everybody wants it. No one wants to get rid of it, and it's incredibly powerful. And I think you're going to see the value skyrocket.
Lark Davis added, Metin plans to issue bonds to raise $50 million to buy more Bitcoin. While retail investors are still sleeping, corporations and institutions keep stacking Bitcoin. Axel Beipel shared another potential catalyst for a price surge in the coming days. On May 30th, FTX is set to distribute over $5 billion in stablecoins to creditors, amounting to 2% of the total supply hitting the market all at once. The timing couldn't be better. ETH is rising, and Bitcoin is hovering near its all-time highs, with pro-crypto sentiments gaining traction in Washington. When that $5 billion reaches wallets, it's unlikely to sit idle. Most individuals stuck with crypto after the FTX blow-up, and now they're getting their funds back. It's anticipated they'll reinvest that liquidity back into the market, which could be the catalyst to drive Bitcoin to $120,000 and spark the alt season we've been waiting for. Keep your eyes on May 30th. This feels like the beginning of the next upward trend. That being said, there's some conflicting information here. While $5 billion in stablecoins is being released tomorrow, these are creditors who had over $50,000 in their accounts. Many sold their claims years ago for between 50% to 100% of the claim value to these larger corporations. So I know quite a few people who may have already sold, meaning that the money is technically already spent. Essentially, those sophisticated players may have sold their claims a while back and already bought Bitcoin and altcoins at the lows. So I'm a bit torn on whether this will actually boost the market or if people will opt to cash out since the prices have already risen significantly. It could lead to a sell-off instead of the expected pump, so it's a tricky situation. Moving on, Charles Hoskinson talked about the growth in Bitcoin and XRP DeFi, as well as real-world assets on Cardano.
You look at the competitive landscape, I say, okay, where is going to be the big growth in terms of TVL transaction volume and overall utilization of these networks? It's going to be Bitcoin DeFi and it's going to be real-world assets. Those are the two things that are just going to be huge. So Bitcoin DeFi is 4 times larger at its peak than Solana and Ethereum combined, like the whole market caps combined, if you think about the ratios. So because of Taproot, it's starting to turn on, and you need companion compute layers like Stacks or Cardano or these things to be able to run all those transactions that are secured by Bitcoin. And what's nice is if you put them together in just the right way, we'll see a larger and larger amount of TVL coming from that side. Same for XRP to Cardano. We have a very strong relationship there, and I'd like to see XRP DeFi onto Cardano, because that's like over $140 billion of value, and they don't have smart contracts.
Coin Bureau remarked that an XRP ETF is on the horizon. The SEC is currently reviewing Wisdom Tree's XRP Trust, a spot ETF that offers exposure to XRP without owning the token. If approved, it could pave the way for more crypto ETFs. The SEC has 240 days to make a decision and is seeking insights into investment risks. Currently, XRP is sitting relatively stable, but if Bitcoin continues its upward trajectory, a breakout above $2.60 would signal a good entry point. Conversely, if Bitcoin sells off, a solid entry would be if it breaks through the $2 range and reclaims it. Overall, the technical analysis hasn't changed much from yesterday, and we're not seeing much movement in the altcoins. Now, turning to Avalanche, they're announcing a significant development. $240 billion in real estate is set to go on-chain. Balcony Tech is collaborating with Bergen County and multiple municipalities in New Jersey to digitize property records, marking the largest blockchain deed initiative in US history. This is huge for RWAs on Avalanche. Avalanche also revealed a partnership with the Filecoin Foundation that aims to enhance Layer 1 capabilities with decentralized data storage. This means higher speed execution backed by secure, scalable, and tamper-proof storage. The consensus around Bitcoin has enormous potential on Avalanche, which is excelling in the crypto gaming sector with a new partnership with FIFA on a AAA game being developed on the platform. Avalanche ranks as the 9th largest chain by DeFi TVL, and on-chain adoption for RWAs is on the rise. Currently, Avalanche is in a similar position as it was last week. In terms of technical analysis, we can expect it to drop to the $22.50 mark and hold there, or ideally reclaim above $27 to trade back up to $35. This approach holds a higher probability of success, especially with Bitcoin likely pumping at the same time. We've tapped that $22.50 level several times, so it really needs to hold. However, the current daily candle looks a bit weak, indicating the possibility of a downturn. It may be wise to wait for a clear breakdown and then re-enter once it reclaims that level. Overall, we find ourselves in a neutral position, neither overly bullish nor bearish, but just holding steady. Finally, Crypto Rover shared that Meta is set to launch stablecoins on Ethereum this year, potentially onboarding 3.5 billion users. This is a very bullish sign for ETH, given that everyone's eager to roll out their own stablecoin these days. SharpLink Gaming recently announced a $425 million strategic Ethereum reserve strategy, aiming to become the MicroStrategy equivalent of Ethereum. Ryan Sean Adams said, when MicroStrategy started accumulating Bitcoin, it was valued at $200 to $300 billion. Fast forward 5 years, and it's worth $2.2 trillion. Similarly, when SharpLink began buying Ethereum, it was at $200 to $300 billion, and 5 years from now it'll be worth trillions. It seems Ethereum may be developing its own MicroStrategy. Furthermore, Coin indicated that Ethereum whales are stocking up heavily, so you know what to expect next. Although Ethereum is showing promising signs, it can often be concerning when it leads because historically it has indicated impending sell-offs. Recently, Ethereum gained 4% while Bitcoin remained neutral, raising alarms that the market might face a downturn soon. We're approaching resistance levels with Ethereum, and what I'd like to see is a drop back to around $25 to $26 before breaking through the $28 resistance. If we can reclaim that level, it would make me much more optimistic about the situation. Right now, Ethereum is in resistance for the 3rd time. If we can pull back and then blast through, that would be fantastic. But overall, the sentiment is cautious. I'd prefer seeing Ethereum consolidate and then push upward rather than stepping into a position right at this resistance around $27. We may need to wait a few days, potentially into the weekend, for clarity. Lastly, Enclave X has enabled 24/7 trading for traditional assets like the SPY, QQQ, Nasdaq, and gold. Enclave X moved quickly to introduce these traditional assets on-chain just a week after revealing its official roadmap. This decentralized perpetual trading platform is known for its robust security features, allowing users to trade tokenized versions of traditional assets such as PXG for gold, the SPY for the S and AMP Wink with tongue sticking out 500, and the QQQ for the Nasdaq, alongside countless other digital assets. Enclave X aims to provide an institutional-grade trading platform for those demanding the highest levels of security. Unlike other platforms that utilize public order books, it employs a secure architecture where every transaction is cryptographically protected, minimizing data leakage risks. The company presented its plans for RWAs at the Avalanche Summit in London on May 20th, promising tokenized stocks, shares, bonds, and commodities will soon be included on its platform. This is groundbreaking since trading traditional assets like the S and AMP Wink with tongue sticking out or Nasdaq while holding a substantial crypto portfolio can be cumbersome. Now, traders can operate within a coherent ecosystem. When the news broke about potential blocks on Trump's tariffs, both the S and AMP Wink with tongue sticking out and Nasdaq surged. Although I think we might see a sell-off soon, yesterday would have been an excellent opportunity to start trading the Nasdaq. Overall, we're essentially at the same level we were the day before. A pump or a drop is still plausible. However, Bitcoin is showing some potential right now. It's just a very choppy environment with many unknowns. Trump could come out today and announce that tariffs are back on the table. In summary, it's a very volatile time, so be cautious with your trading decisions. Wait for clearer signals. If we break above $109 or $110 and hold that level on the daily chart, we'll be looking at a much more bullish outlook. But if we continue to bounce around and close below those levels, we may see a return to the low to mid-$100K range. That wraps up today's video, everyone. I hope you found it helpful, and I'll catch you next time.